everybody, Livingston here. Today we're jumping into a wonderful classic from the 90s, and that is 1993's Jurassic Park, starring Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Richard Attenborough, and Jeff Goldblum. I'm looking forward to getting into this because it's the 30th anniversary. I remember actually going to the theater for the first time watching this, thinking, wow, you know, dinosaurs, it's crazy. It's over a 2-hour long movie, but I think there's only like 13 minutes of dinosaurs involved in this film. The rest of it, it's like sound effects, or they talk about the dinosaurs, or it's the dinosaur bones. Kind of crazy to think about when you think back like 30 years ago when I was a kid, and it's like, how did my attention span last in this film? But it's because of the directing. It's because of the story. It was just awesomely told by Steven Spielberg during that time when he was also making Schindler's List. Two totally different films. It's funny how it just, you know, that year was just a stellar year for him in both achievement in winning an Oscar for the first time as a director and Best Picture. No, actually it wasn't for director, but it was for Best Picture, I believe. I don't think he won Best Director until what was it, like 98's Saving Private Ryan, I believe. I love to revisit these films, but not so often. It's in that pantheon of films, like Saving Private Ryan being one of them. I like to revisit that, but it's such a heavy movie that I do it every so often. Schindler's List being another one. And another one would be like The Dark Knight, or the Lord of the Rings trilogy. There's like special films to me, so I like to make it an event when I do watch them. I'll watch it with people, but this time I'm watching it with you, the audience of my channel, so I appreciate everybody coming over and visiting this site. And if you enjoy what you're watching, don't forget to subscribe and like as well, and we'll keep on trucking and throwing out videos every Sunday. There was a little bit of a gap where I haven't put out videos because I just recently moved, as well as I just made a movie with my partner Chad, who have you seen on the channel, and I am in the middle of editing and putting it together and trying to flesh out the story. So stay tuned for a trailer of that at some point in the future to drop on this channel. I'm going to be pretty excited at some point when I do get it actually done and in front of people at a movie theater. We're going to be watching Jurassic Park with a little bit of the trivia and the behind the scenes of what was going on when they were making this movie. So stay tuned for some of that during the watching and commentary of this movie. But let's jump into Jurassic Park. Oh, John Williams, you know how to get me with a note. Throw in some woodwinds, baby. Ooh, sexy. Jurassic Park. I love that title sequence. It's just the simple notes and that woodwind with the title Jurassic Park. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. It's simple. Let's watch Spielberg conduct a scene coming in through those trees. What's going on? Is it a dinosaur? It looks like we don't know what it is yet, you know. I love that. We're keeping the mystery. Got Muldoon. That's Bob Peck. It's a box. Universal paid Michael Crichton $2 million for the rights to his novel before it was even published. Man, I wish I had that kind of clout. Isla Nublar, 120 miles west of Costa Rica.
Pushing team, move in there.
Yeah, I'd be scared too. Yes.
Team, step away.
Still don't know what's in there. We know it's a dinosaur, but what is it?
Raise the gate.
Oh, boom! This is great. I love this shot. Yeah, being pulled away like that. It's awesome. I mean, it's still so effective. You don't see the dinosaur. Taken away. Awesome transition, though. Right into the water with this wonderful blood-sucking lawyer. It's amazing. I haven't watched this in like 10 years, but I still know the lines so well. I mean, I watched it Into the Ground as a kid.
$1,000 pesos que se cae.
You see him in a lot of things. Miguel Sandoval. I remember him mostly from Clear and Present Danger. He played like the Colombian drug lord.
The insurance company.
Okay.
Whoa! He's not from around these parts.
Sign up on the island. The insurance guys will back off.
Love the lighting. I love the one-shots that Spielberg does, just following them back.
Grant, you'll never get him out of Montana.
And then we'll do a slow push in at the very end of this scene. Of course, it's cut to another shot, but...
Because Grant's like me. He's a digger. Que lindo eres.
Awesome storytelling. We're already setting up, like, Mosquito. That's how they get it. They are mined. Later on in the story, it comes up. Plus, you gotta love the use of John Williams' score in the background. It's just like the, you know, dinosaurs. When I was a kid, it was always about the fantasy of it. It's like, almost like it's a mystery, this mysticism that kind of surrounds it. These bones are our only means of peering into 65 million years.
I hate computers.
Feelings mutual.
Yeah, they kind of suck sometimes. I didn't understand what this was as a kid. How can you see a dinosaur bones with that? It's with sound waves. It's crazy.
This is the image back.
The technology is amazing. Dr. Alan Grant was modeled after paleontologist Jack Horner, who, like Grant, digs and teaches in Montana, and was also a technical advisor on this movie.
Velociraptor?
Yeah, it's good shape, too. And look at the half-moon-shaped bones in the wrist. It's no wonder these guys learn how to fly.
Well, this has been proven that birds are basically the descendants of dinosaurs.
Full of air sacs and hollows, just like a bird.
And even the word raptor means bird of
Bird of prey.
Doesn't look very scary.
Oh, shit.
More like a 6-foot turkey.
Interest in paleontology waned during the atomic age and space race, but according to Dr. Nate Smith of the Natural History Museum's Dinosaur Institute, Jurassic Park coming out generated a bunch of interest amongst young people that wanted to become paleontologists and get into the field. As a result, numerous new dinosaur species have been discovered since then, at roughly the rate of 50 new discoveries per year, or about 1 per week. That's crazy. So never tell me that movies are not important to society. It makes people want to be the heroes that they see on TV and in film on the big screen. I mean, come on. They have an impact.
here or here.
That's kind of scary.
Maybe across the belly, spilling your intestines. You are alive when they start to eat you. Try to show a little respect.
What the hell do you think you're doing in here?
Oh.
Hey, we were saving that.
For today, I guarantee it.
If you look at the refrigerator, newspaper clippings on the fridge and Alan Grant's trailer read, "Space aliens stole my face and dinosaurs on Mars." Never really noticed that. That's funny.
I can tell instantly about people. It's a gift. I own an island off the coast of Costa Rica.
Here's this one shot, slowly just pushing in.
Our attractions will drive kids out of their minds.
What are those?
Small versions of adults.
We're going to open next year. That is if the lawyers don't kill me first. I don't care for lawyers. Do you?
I've met a couple. I only liked half of them. So.
Give it your endorsement. Maybe even pen a wee testimonial. I could get back on schedule. Schedule.
What kind of park is this?
It's right up your alley, yo.
It's right up your alley.
Just dug up a new skeleton.
Well, I could compensate you by fully funding your dig.
Oh.
For a further 3 years.
Well, let's go.
Yeah, okay. Cheers. Okay.
All right. It's crazy, this character, Lewis Dodson. He shows up in the last Jurassic Park movie, Jurassic World Dominion. Ends up being like the bad guy. Just funny that this character ends up just being taken out of the ashes of the first film and utilized in the last one. Question is, will they make more Jurassic Park / World movies? I think they already have it slated where there's like a new trilogy being planned. I don't know how they're going to keep going with it. I like the idea where like dinosaurs were going to be involved in like experiments with the military, and they were like mixing DNA and stuff like that. And they kind of touched on that in the Jurassic World trilogy, but it's too bad they didn't like flesh it out more, because I remember seeing like concepts and stuff of like G.I. Joe style soldiers that were also bred or like interchanged with dinosaur DNA, and they had like that kind of like dino-human crossbred thing going on. But yeah, it turns out they didn't go that direction. But I don't know, if they were going to do a new trilogy, I'd love to see like a post-apocalyptic sort of world where the dinosaurs are among the humans or something. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
The embryos have to be back here in San Jose by...
That's up to your guy on the boat. Don't get cheap on me, Dodson.
Pay for my meal. He's cheap. I mean, jeez. That's funny. That storyline only runs about maybe halfway through the movie, and it's only used really to kickstart what's going on the island, as in like having the park just go into disarray. It's a good backstory. Jeff Goldblum plays it perfectly.
He suffers from a deplorable excess of personality.
Particularly when it has to say about his little science project.
Oh, it's swallowed Ian.
That's what I like about Spielberg's directing. He's always wide, and he's always staying on these wide shots with all the actors doing what they're supposed to do. And he's just trusting them, and they all do a great job in following everything. He has the people in the back leaning forward so they are in camera, in frame.
Aren't familiar with the concept of attraction.
And everyone else is leaning back. It's just awesome directing. That's why he's considered the best. He's considered the GOAT in a lot of circles.
There it is.
John Williams' score. This takes place in Hawaii.
A little thrilling.
Kauai, I think it's the island of Kauai or whatever. Ian Malcolm dresses entirely in black in this movie in The Lost World Jurassic Park. In the book, he tells Ellie Sattler that he only ever dresses in black and gray so that he never has to waste time thinking about what to wear. Seth Brundle, who is Jeff Goldblum also, gives the same reason for his monotonous fashion sense in The Fly, 1986, an idea that Brundle got from Albert Einstein, which is true. What's the sense in clothing, other than keeping you warm and not walking around naked? Other than that, it's just like, whatever, material. Let's pay thousands of dollars to have something be draped over you.
The full 50 miles of perimeter fence are in place?
And the concrete mold. In 48 hours, I'll be accepting your apology.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. This is an awesome scene. I remember watching this in theaters. I mean, just imagine, I was 8, sitting in like, I don't know, it was maybe the first third of the theater. I was dead center, and I was watching this scene, and it was just like, what? Show us. Show me what he's looking at.
Foreman's been extinct since the Cretaceous period. I mean, this thing is a
What the hell? And it's the buildup, the suspense. Like, come on, show us. Then the music kicks in. Still very powerful in the scheme of cinema, you know? Like, I can't think of another moment where you're in awe of what is in front of you. Like, the first time you actually get to see a dinosaur walking, living, breathing. And this is honestly the first scene when you actually get to see a dinosaur doing this. I mean, back then, this was it, you know?
We're gonna make a fortune with this place.
The release strategy was planned 15 months before the studio had the chance to see a frame of the movie.
You said you've got a T-Rex?
Uh-huh.
We have a T-Rex.
We have a T-Rex.
Dr. Grant, my dear Dr. Sattler, welcome to Jurassic Park.
It was more magical then, of course. I was a kid, and hearing this on like surround sound with an audience of people who were just awestruck with seeing what they were seeing on the big screen. I mean, that's why this movie became the biggest movie of all time for a few years up until Titanic took it over.
They do move in herds. How'd you do this?
I'll show you.
I'll show you.
I did like watching Jurassic World, the part where they kind of revisited this part of Jurassic Park. It was all like overgrown with vines, and it's crazy to rewatch this now after seeing Jurassic World, and it's fun, you know, because they use that banner.
We've made living biological attractions so astounding.
So what are you thinking?
We're out of a job. Don't you mean extinct?
Joel, sit down. Donald, I've got lines here.
Well, fine, I guess. But how did I get here?
I'll need a drop of blood.
Oh, John, that
hurt.
Relax, John. It's all part of the miracle of cloning.
DNA. All right, cloning. It's that easy. Sweet.
Mr. DNA, where did you come from? From your blood.
When I was a kid, I thought he said like Mr. D.L.E. I didn't know it was Mr. DNA.
Millions of years ago, like dinosaurs, left their blueprints.
Like dinosaurs?
100 million years ago. After biting a dinosaur, the mosquito would land on the branch of a tree.
That mosquito died for the making of this movie.
Hard and become fossilized, just like a dinosaur bone.
Wow.
Preserved blood from the mosquito and bingo.
Dino DNA.
A full DNA strand, the complete DNA of a frog, to fill in the holes.
This is exciting.
Are these characters autoerotica?
No.
Autoerotica.
Wait a minute. How do you interrupt the cellular mitosis?
Can't we see the unfertilized eggs?
Shortly.
Yeah, this is kind of rude. It's like, why don't you let the ride go through?
Can't do that.
Can they do that? No.
For the mainland, we'll be leaving at 1900 hours.
Oh, that's Sam Jackson's voice.
Hey, Henry.
Oh, good day, sir.
Despite his prominent billing, B.D. Wong has less than 2 minutes of screen time. He is, however, the only cast member of the movie to reprise his role in Jurassic World. Wong and Jeff Goldblum reprised their roles in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. In 2022, Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, and Wong joined Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard for Jurassic World Dominion. All had important roles in the story. Dodson, the man who plays Nedry to steal the embryos, also returns, but is played by a different actor. Oh, I thought it was the same guy. It's crazy they didn't get the same actor. It's too bad. Wonder why.
Come on.
Much of the behavior seen in this movie is based on modern wild animals. I remember seeing that in the making of video. I actually bought it when I was in Islands of Adventure back when it first opened, and I ended up buying it. It's pretty fun. James Earl Jones did the narration.
Well, because all the animals in Jurassic Park are female.
God.
It's really not that difficult. All vertebrate embryos are inherently female anyway.
It is pretty nuts that he shows up 3 movies later, and he's pretty much a evil scientist creating hybrid dinosaurs.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
It is funny, though, how proven right he is at the end of this movie.
What species is this?
It's raptor, yo.
It's a velociraptor.
You bred raptors.
I like the pause. The like, oh shit, what did you do? Why would you bring these back of all dinosaurs, you know? Originally, I think they wanted Harrison Ford in the role of Alan Grant. I mean, he is very much a Indiana Jones type, but I'm glad they got Sam Neill. He's different.
Well, it's Chilean sea bass, I believe.
He works. The funny thing is, when I read the novel, Dr. Alan Grant was into kids. He wore like Hawaiian shirts, I think. So it's just funny how they went like in a totally opposite direction. But they made it kind of like his character arc in a way, where he didn't like kids and then suddenly he does at the end of this movie. Just for this scene, it makes you wonder, I guess Spielberg learned a lot from Jaws. So it's like, don't show what the velociraptors are all about until you really need to actually show them. It's the build-up. It's the discussions of a velociraptor, how smart they are. That's what makes them so scary.
I've hunted most things that can hunt you, but the way these things move.
Fast for a biped?
Cheetah speed.
With the brain cavities.
They show extreme intelligence. We bred 8 originally, but when she came in, she took over the pride and killed all but 2 of the others. When she looks at you, you can see she's working things out. They were testing the fences for weaknesses systematically. They remember.
Yeah, things have memories. They're not like, not everything's a goldfish. Well, that cow didn't last. It's like not even any blood.
Who's hungry? The park will open with the basic tour you're about to take. Spectacular design, spared no expense.
We can charge anything we want, 2,000 a day, 10,000 a day.
That's quite a bit a day.
What, we'll have a coupon day or...
Gee, the lack of humility before nature that's being displayed here staggers me.
Different than you and I had feared.
Yeah, I know. They're a lot worse. You stood on the shoulders of geniuses to accomplish something as fast as you could, packaged it and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. You want to sell it. Well,
Don't think you're giving us our due. Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could that they didn't stop to think if they should.
It's a good line.
This isn't some species that was obliterated by deforestation. Dinosaurs had their shot, and
I really like Jeff Goldblum's delivery of lines. They sound like he's just making them up because he puts in those little stutters. That's how talking is. You put like, I don't know what to say next. Sometimes you just don't think as quick as other people.
Well, the question is, how can you know anything about an extinct ecosystem?
It's true.
Dr. Grant, if there's one who could appreciate what I'm trying to do.
The world has just changed so radically, and we're all running to catch up. Thrown back into the mix together. How can we possibly have the slightest idea of what to expect?
I don't believe it.
I mean, I agree with him. You have to be cautious. You just brought animals back from something that, 65 million years between two different species. It's just crazy. But of course, they never thought that Nedry would come in and just annihilate the fence perimeters and kill everybody in the process.
We're
Good
great.
to see you.
Yay, kids.
Track in the middle of the roadway here. Totally non-polluting.
They sure don't look like birds to me.
The blocking in this scene's awesome. Just the way they came out, and now they're moving the camera this way. Still haven't cut.
And then my teacher told me about this other book by a guy named Backer, and he...
Still with the same camera. Oh, we're cutting right here.
Storm, about 75 miles west of us.
I'll keep an eye on it. Maybe it'll swing south like the last one.
Hold on to your butts.
Okay, here we go, guys.
God help us, we're in the hands of engineers.
Hands of engineers.
Will be automatically selected and displayed for you.
Hey, look!
Richard Kiley, spare no expense.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
I remember hearing his voice all the time in National Geographic, so it was awesome to hear him.
What do they got in there, King Kong?
Dilophosaurus.
Dilophosaurus?
We now know Dilophosaurus is actually poisonous.
Oh, you missed it on this round.
Ellen.
It's gone.
Damn.
The headlights are on and they're not responding.
Our lives are in your hands, and you have butterfingers?
I'm totally unappreciated in my time. You can run this whole park from this room with minimal staff for up to 3 days. You think that kind of automation is easy?
It is now.
You can't use it for everything. We're gonna compile for half an hour.
Quiet, all of you. We're approaching the Tyrannosaur paddock.
Yep, that's an important place. Like from this angle, you can see the soil right there, right? I'll clue you in later.
God creates man. Man destroys God. Man creates dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs eat man and inherited the earth. The Tyrannosaur paddock set was constructed on location and as a studio set. The former was from a daytime scene in which the creature fails to appear, and the latter for its nighttime escape. In order to accommodate Stan Winston's robotic T-Rex, this set required a soundstage much bigger than Universal had to offer, so it was filmed at Warner Brothers instead.
He's gonna eat the goat?
Malaya Scotch Marmo did some rewrites on the final script, but remains uncredited. That sucks.
65 million years of gut instinct.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people out there stating now that Tyrannosaurus Rex was more of a scavenger, that he was like a vulture that kind of just went around and ate dead things that he can find. It's funny how things change over 30 years and the perspectives of what archaeologists saw then compared to now.
Now eventually you do plan to have dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour.
I really hate that man.
It's a good line. It's a good scene.
Still not clear on chaos.
It's predictability in complex systems. A butterfly can flap its wings in Peking, and in Central Park you get rain instead of sunshine. Now, let's say a drop of water falls in your hand. Which way is the drop going to roll off of? Aha, okay.
Right.
Okay, now freeze your hand, freeze your hand. Stay in place again. Which way is it going to roll off to?
Let's say that.
Because tiny variations, the orientation.
It's probably how you pick us up women in bars.
Those imperfections in the skin.
Imperfections in the skin.
That's fun.
Unpredictability.
Another experiment.
Predicted that Dr. Grant would suddenly jump out of a moving vehicle. See, here I'm now by myself, talking to myself. That's
still a great joke. While discussing chaos theory, Malcolm shamelessly flirts with Ellie. After meeting on this movie, the two began a romantic relationship. Wow, I didn't know that. Didn't last, they're not together now.
Told you how many times we needed locking mechanisms on the vehicle doors.
Principal photography finished 12 days ahead of schedule and on budget.
Is there anybody else who thinks that we shouldn't be out here?
Hey.
You okay?
Hey, look at this. Wait, hey, watch. Hey, come on.
It's funny how they're just so intrigued by somebody who hates kids.
Timmy.
Hey, Timmy.
You know, I've said it in many other films that we've watched on this channel, but look at that right there. You cannot go wrong with practical effects. Having reality for the actors to touch and feel and see, it's always better than having just like something that's green that you'll replace later. Plus, it just holds up better over time. You know, when you look at computer effects from like 20 years ago compared to like what they were doing in '93, where computer effects were not where it needed to be yet. They were still using practical effects. I still think they need to still do that, like they did in the Star Wars movies.
No, it's the most beautiful thing I ever saw.
Michael Crichton said that his views on science and genetic engineering are largely expressed by Ian Malcolm. Steven Spielberg saw many
We're going to have to cut the tour short, I'm afraid.
parallels to himself in the character of John Hammond. Fittingly, he cast a fellow filmmaker in the role, who begins his tour of the park by showing a movie in which he also acts. While Malcolm is dressed entirely in black, Hammond wears all white. A contrast. I never really saw it until now. Like, oh, he stretched up there like he's just whatever, you know, shirt unbuttoned halfway down his chest.
That is one big pile of shit.
Definitely a pile. As the story takes place on the island near Costa Rica, the filmmakers originally considered filming in Costa Rica. This idea was quickly abandoned when they realized that the Costa Rican government would not allow them to build roads going to the filming locations. Well, that sucks.
Doctors, if you please, I have to insist that we get moving.
I can drop her at the visitor center before I make the call with the others.
Now.
Tense instruments. Whoa.
At least 15 minutes. Give me the 15 minutes.
No promises.
You better hurry up.
Much for our first tour. 2 no-shows and 1 sick triceratops.
John Hammond created the dinosaurs from dinosaur DNA trapped in amber. He also carried around a cane capped with a mosquito in amber. Attenborough's brother is naturalist David Attenborough, who has his own collection of animals trapped in amber. This was the focus of Natural World 1983, season 22, episode 12, The Amber Time Machine, 2004.
Got any kids?
Me? Oh, hell yeah, 3. I love kids. Yeah, I'm always on the lookout for a future ex-Mrs. Malcolm.
That's a funny joke. During filming Jurassic Park, paleontologists actually uncovered 10-foot tall specimens of raptors called Utah raptors. Spielberg also wanted the dinosaurs to be bird-like, for example, snapping to attention like a chicken. He wanted the raptors to turn their heads so they could look behind them to make them look even scarier. Spielberg likened the raptor tapping its claw to Morse code to any raptor listening. I love those woodwinds. Well, this is no bueno.
Fences are failing all over the park.
Boom. Unlock. There you go.
Look at this workstation. What a complete slut.
I think this is a very well-written script in terms of just the pacing of it, how everything, because you really don't see a dinosaur until like maybe the 50-minute mark, if that.
Did you turn the other ones off?
But you don't get into the actual action of the film until you hit about an hour and 5 minutes, when you start actually getting to like the T-Rex and mayhem ensuing. This is just like that transitional period where we know things are about to happen, but we got to get rid of Nedry first. Because after this, he's not needed anymore for the story to continue on. Now, what would have been interesting is, what would have happened if he actually did make it off the island? And some other park would have been able to breed dinosaurs and continue on with the war between two different companies. That would have been interesting to see in a sequel, which I guess we kind of do somehow in like Jurassic World, but
Please! God damn it!
it ended up just dying off.
Phone address, people. Phones are out too.
Not good.
Nara said to stay put.
Kids okay?
Yeah, kind of goes without saying that it would be.
Kids get scared.
What's to be scared about? It's just a little hiccup in the power.
I didn't say I was scared.
I didn't say you were scared.
The awkward moment between them.
Sit in my seat.
Are they heavy?
Yeah.
Then they're expensive. Put them back.
My grandfather owns it, so I don't have to listen to you.
Don't scare me.
Well, it kind of makes you wonder, why are they even in the car if it's for tourists anyways, you know? I think it's up for grabs.
Oh, cool night, babe.
I thought that was cool too back in the day.
You feel that?
Maybe it's the power trying to come back on. Watching the making of this, they actually accomplished the rings in the water by somebody plucking a guitar string beneath the dash.
Maybe it's the power trying to come back on.
It's not. Uh-oh. You know, they gotta replace those poles all the time, bending the hell out of them.
Where's the goat?
Uh-oh. So what did the T-Rex do, like toss it over the fence? Because he sure as hell wasn't like over the car at that point. It really doesn't matter, I'm just thinking like physics and how things went, but this is why you do things practically. It still looks good to this day. And this is early visual effects. First time we've ever seen dinosaurs as a CG creature. And it was just utilized so great in this movie because of the contrast, the water. It hid all of the issues. I think you can kind of see some of the issues in like 4K now, but still a very well made scene. Look at that shot. It's one of my favorite shots in cinema. Yeah, baby. Look how great that still looks. They put the right amount of motion blur, everything. It just...
Turn the light off. Turn the light off.
Did you know that Star Wars Episode 6 Return of the Jedi is actually referenced in Jurassic Park? The Tyrannosaurus eats the goat, it swallows the carcass, closes its mouth, and turns its head to the side to look at the children in Gennaro in the car. The movement of the Tyrannosaurus is almost identical to the movements made by the Rancor after it eats its victim, then turns its head to look at Luke. I had no idea, and I've known about this movie for 30 frickin' years. Uh-oh. Everything about this scene is great. The Foley, the animatronics, the CG, just every element of it. If you can guess, I never knew this, but the Explorer, when it's flipped over, that's actually fake. That right there, it's a fake Explorer. It's not real. I thought it was real. I thought that was like the practical part of it, and then they put in the CG dinosaur. It turns out, no, it's not true. The whole damn thing's fake. That part's real. Plus his roar. It's the most iconic freaking dinosaur roar out there, I think. And then I think after that's probably the Velociraptors. I mean, hell, how can you go wrong with that? I say the most iconic roar, that's just in dinosaurs in general. I'm not going to say the most iconic roar ever. I mean, Godzilla's probably up there as well. Ian, freeze! Bad idea. You shouldn't have ran. This is not lucky for you, my friend. Just like a dog and a chew toy. Just when you think the scene is over.
Can't see us if we don't move.
shot will just live on. You can look at it 100 years from now and go, this still looks great. That would look so intimidating. Nice long lens shot there. Now, as I said earlier, you could see the ground when they were going by. Why is this now so high up above the ground? Weird, huh? But it makes for a pretty cool scene. Nice way to cap off that scene.